how does one use ChatGPT? So for like people watching, listening, do you have to have the paid account? What is the best way to start with it? And can you break down the having it read or pull out information versus writing? Because I firmly believe this notion that it writes everything for you is a little questionable depending on what you're bidding on. I think there are some situations where it can, but just kind of break that down, because I think people think it's like do, and then bam, everything is done for you.
I hear that, Kizzy. It's not really a magic trick, and I would prefer to show you more than
Yeah.
I would like to tell you. So let me just share my screen quickly here. I actually have a bit of a presentation. I'm titling this Government Contracting Without Tears. Let me tell you this, Kizzy. I've spoken to many people in the space, and I find that government contracting does come with a bit of tears, especially when people see the solicitations and how long they are and what is required. But the truth is that you can redefine your approach to bidding with ChatGPT, and that's really what I want to show here today. And I would like everybody to watch the end, because I do have a surprise. There's going to be a surprise for everybody, a free surprise, by the way, that you're going to thoroughly enjoy. But let's talk a little bit about problems here. There are three problems that small businesses face when it comes to government contracting. And one of those problems is really understanding the solicitation, right? These solicitations have lots of requirements, lots of references, lots of laws. Everything, even just the language alone can be really demoralizing to someone who wants to use government contracting as an opportunity to get to the next level in your entrepreneurship journey. Another problem that they face is they're unaware of effective strategies to actually identify subcontractors who they could possibly partner with to get the job done. And if you're not able to get a list of subcontractors and you're stuck on just one subcontractor, you'll be desperate. And the last thing you want to be in business is desperate. And then the biggest problem that I think most people face in government contracting is the writing of proposals, and especially writing proposals quickly. These are the three common problems. And if anybody resonates with that problem, then this video is going to make a lot of sense to you. But by the end of this video, here are the promises I have. You're never, and I mean absolutely never, going to have to spend hours feeling overwhelmed when you're reading government solicitations. You're not going to have the problem of understanding government solicitations after this video. You're also never going to struggle with finding a list of subcontractors. Like I said, and I would even take this back to my recruitment agency days. When I was running a recruitment agency and I got my first client, I stopped my business development completely and was completely focused on the client. At the time, I thought that really made sense. Like, if you have a client, why don't you focus on them? That makes sense, right? But what happened was, each time I didn't get a response from them, or the invoice payment came in late, I was fully distressed. I had that desperation, and to the point where I even sent an email that was, a little bit rude, but that's a story for another day. And I would have never been in that situation if I continued my business development. And the business development in government contracting, in my mind, is submitting proposals. If you have the ability to submit multiple proposals, you're not going to be stuck on the one that never pulled through. And if you want to get rid of that desperation, you need to learn how to write more proposals fast. And you also, after this video, you're not going to spend hours writing proposals that are non-compliant and don't meet the standards of the solicitation that you went through. But this presentation, I'm not only going to be speaking, but I'm going to be demonstrating how you can effortlessly interpret government solicitation documents and actually scout for great subcontractors. And most of these teachings will be coming out from my pre-released book, Government Contracting Without Tears. And you might not believe me, guys, but you don't have to spend hours reading government solicitation. It doesn't have to be like that, especially in 2024. You might not believe me, but you don't have to spend hours finding prospective subcontractors to contact that can potentially do the job. And you don't have to spend weeks writing proposals. If I told you that it was possible for you to break down the solicitation, find a couple of subcontractors that you could use the information on their website to blossom your proposal, and you could do this in under 2 hours, would you even believe me? But let's stop talking and let me start showing you some stuff. I actually have two things open here. I have a cheat sheet. This is the ChatGPT cheat sheet. And here I have a Sam.gov account for lawn care for the NWS office located in Pueblo. Now, when you come into a solicitation like this, there are some things that go through my mind before I even open up one of the contract opportunities. I want to check what kind of notice type it is, because I want to know that there's money behind this. Is this an original solicitation? Is this a combined synopsis slash solicitation? Basically, the question I'm asking myself is the government ready to pay for this before I start to put effort into it? It's kind of my philosophy here. And I've established that this is one of those. Combined synopsis, I'm looking at some information. And here I see that there's a relatively long description, longer than many that I have seen. So I'm going to open up my ChatGPT here. The first thing I would usually do is copy this description to just have an idea of what's actually going on in here. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, head into ChatGPT and say something simple like, hey, break down the information below. Make it really simple here. Okay, so the information provided in the detailed combined synopsis slash solicitation for lawn care services as the National Weather Service office in Pueblo, Colorado. Here is a structured breakdown of the key elements. So we have the purpose is the replacement of original request for quote due to a change in the statement of work, necessitating new quotes even from those who submitted previously. Okay, so we're seeing that this is coming in because there were changes in the statement of work and new quotes are going to be accepted. Phenomenal. What type is this? Synopsis and solicitation. So we know that there's money beat this. Great. Now I'm just trying to get an overall idea of what was in that long description. You just need to put in the prompt, break this down. But where the real juice comes in is when we start to look through the attachments. We want to find out, is there a performance work statement here? Is there an SOW here? What can I see? And I see an SOL. So I'm going to download the SOL. Now, it's important to know that with ChatGPT 4, you have the ability to attach documents. No matter how long the document is, listen, I just finished up a proposal writing class. I have compliance professionals in there. I have dentists in there, people who are used to lofty information. But there's a time factor that we need to consider. If you are saying to yourself, hey, listen, I went to school, I have 4 PhDs, and I can read anything, this is now a game on your time. So this solicitation itself, I'm going to put into ChatGPT, but I have to show you how many pages we have here. We're talking about 69 pages, a lot of pages. I'm going to go into the ChatGPT cheat sheet where I have the exact prompt that's going to pull out the scope of work, the technical specification, the performance metrics, the timeline and milestones, and the evaluation criteria. Most of the most really important information you're going to need to extract from the solicitation. So here we are, we've attached the document, and now we're going to copy and paste. I usually tell people that what I teach is advanced copying and pasting. Even writing the proposals, I don't believe in writing proposals. I believe in building proposals, which is a completely different thing entirely. But check this out. We have the scope of work. So the contractor will perform lawn care services and groundskeeping at the National Weather Service office in Pueblo, Colorado. The task includes regular and field mowing, trimming around buildings and stationary items, edging, sidewalks, removing clippings and debris, weed control and fertilization of lawn, trees, and shrubs. Fantastic. We know what the scope of work is. Now, we have the performance metrics, the timelines and milestones, the evaluation criteria. What does the evaluation criteria say? The contract will be awarded based on the offers most advantageous to the government, considering price and other factors. Offers are evaluated on technical acceptability / capability, including past performance on related contracts, responsiveness, quality, and customer service. Okay, so one of the things that people always want to know, and I was actually talking to one of my students who said, hey, Godwin, one of the problems I've had is that my subcontractors, they never get back to me. So I said, how do you communicate with them? He said, well, I sent them the entire solicitation expecting them to come back with a quote. I said, brother, listen, if you sent me that, I would also not be responding to you at all. And let's say you wanted to have a summary of the statement of work sent to them as opposed to a 69-page document. I'm going to tell ChatGPT, create a bulleted summary that I can send over to a subcontractor to evaluate a price. Now, I want you to have the idea that talking to ChatGPT should be like talking to your personal assistant, talking to your personal secretary. What's going to happen here is that ChatGPT is going to break this down. Watch this. Perform non-personal lawn care services on groundskeeping. Handle all equipment, labor, and material necessary for services. Services include regular mowing of approximately 1.25 acres, field mowing of approximately 0.88 acres, trimming, edging, debris removal, weed control, and fertilization of lawn, trees, and shrubs. At this point, any sub been in lawn care for 5 years, 10 years, 3 years would read this and say, okay, 1.2 acres of land, there's some trimming, there's some edging. They have a general understanding of what this is meant to be like, as opposed to having a 69-page document. But what happens when you have understood the statement of work, you've created the summary, and perhaps now you want to start to find prospective subcontractors? The next phase in this 3-step system is to ask ChatGPT what kind of companies have the ability to complete the job. So I'm going to say, what kind of companies have the ability to complete the work? For example, okay. Now ChatGPT is going to give you a general high level. It's like landscaping and lawn care companies. It's going to tell you groundskeeping and ground maintenance companies, facility management companies. Now, this aspect of this system is what I call a transitionary aspect. We're transitioning into finding the subcontractors. When you have outlined all the companies that can possibly do the work, the next step is to turn these companies into Google search terms. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT, turn these companies into Google search terms. Why are we doing this? Why do we need them to be in Google search terms? Well, there are 2 reasons. Number one, we're going to be trying to create Boolean strings to enhance our search. Or we're going to use these Google search terms and another AI tool called Perplexity AI to outline the companies that can possibly do the work. The first thing I'm going to start with would be the Google search terms. I'll grab one of the search terms here, and I'm going to tell ChatGPT, create a Boolean string with all relevant keywords. And when you tell it to create a Boolean string with relevant keywords, what it's going to do is it's going to use the industry keywords to broaden the search. So you're going to actually see that here. One thing that I must also note is that ChatGPT creates the Boolean strings in code view. If you see this black bar on your ChatGPT, do not be alarmed.
Right.
All you need to do is copy the code.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to paste the code right here. And I want you to evaluate what we have. We have landscaping or lawn care or ground maintenance or environmental services or facility management. So it's making the search a lot broader. When we put this Boolean string, let's open up Google here. When we throw this Boolean string into Google, what you're going to see now, while you look through these options, we're going to see those keywords being highlighted. So on this page, what we are currently seeing, Kizzy, is the companies within the location. Oh, actually, okay, yes, the companies within the location, and we know that they are within the location and they have those keywords and they're able to fulfill the job. So let's open this up. Let's open one of the companies here, all-purpose landscaping, for example. Let's assume that we've called them, we've spoken to them, and we found, okay, yes, they're willing to do the work. Or let's even say that you wanted to evaluate them, for example. I'm going to go to see this information right here. I'm going to copy all the information, Control C, go into ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask ChatGPT, can this company fulfill the job based on the information below? Outline the pros and cons. Now check this out. Based on the provided information about all-purpose landscaping, here is a statement of their ability to fulfill the lawn care and landscaping job for National Weather Service Office in Pueblo. So the pros, we have local expertise. All-purpose landscaping has extensive knowledge of Pueblo area and specific needs of its plant life, which is crucial for effective landscaping and lawn care. So that makes sense, right? They have that local expertise. You want someone that's perhaps closer to the location, know about the environment, and they're able to do the work. Let's see communication and reliability. The company emphasizes strong communication, ensuring that calls and emails are returned within 24 hours and appointments are consistent and timely. Now, we can sit down here and talk about all the good things that the company has, but we also want to find out what are some opportunities, some areas where they may need where there needs to be some kind of boost. Now, it says lack of mentioned compliance. There's no explicit mention of their experience with federal contracts and associated legal and procedural requirements, which are crucial for government projects. Now, one thing I want to let you know is that you're not going to be looking at these cons and saying, oh, well, because it has this con, I'm not going to go with these subcontractors.
Of course not.
These are opportunities to ask questions. Like here it says capacity uncertainty. It is not clear if they have the workforce or equipment capacity to handle a government contract that requires strict adherence to federal acquisition regulations and large-scale service commitments. This means that you're going to ask them, hey, so tell me about your workforce. So tell me about your experience handling projects that are about 2.5 acres of land. This is the reason why we're doing this. We're not using this information to draw conclusions. We're using the information to ask more questions, to find out if there's a fit. But let's say we've established that there's a fit now. We're going to be moving to the next phase of this process, and that's the proposal writing. The base of your proposal is typically a table of contents. So now you want to ask ChatGPT, create a table of content that aligns with the evaluation criteria of this SOL. So create a table of contents that aligns with the evaluation criteria of the SOL. And guys, ChatGPT released this new ChatGPT 4.0 that has higher consciousness, higher memory capacity. So it actually has a lot of context on what we've been talking about throughout this conversation. And it's pulling from that context to create this table of content right now. So we have about, I'm guessing it's going to have about 11 items on the table of content. And what we see here, executive summary. You want to talk about the overview of the proposal, the company introduction, statement of compliance, technical approach, technical specification, performance management, timeline, and milestones. Let's say you look at this table of contents and you're saying, hey, I think it's a little bit too long. Let's shorten this a little bit. You can ask ChatGPT or tell ChatGPT, I would like this table of contents to be airtight, focusing on the relevant aspects that would help me win the bid. Only the relevant aspects. Nothing too crazy, no redundancy. Let's see what ChatGPT is able to do. And I'm going to be going into the mistake that many people make when they try to use ChatGPT to write out a proposal. That mistake is that they try to use one prompt to write out the entire proposal. And I'm going to show you what happens when you do that. I'm going to tell ChatGPT right after it's done generating, using the table of content above, write out a proposal. And let's see what happens. This is, I would say, this is the conventional thinking when someone wants to use ChatGPT to write out a proposal. They want ChatGPT to spell out everything for them. What happens is that it completely dilutes the information on each part. So check this out. This is your executive summary. It's just one paragraph. All-purpose landscaping is excited to present this proposal for lawn care and landscaping services at the National Weather Service office in Pueblo, Colorado. With a decade of experience in commercial landscaping and dedicated team of professionals, we are committed to delivering high-quality, reliable, and efficient services tailored to meet the specific needs and regulatory standards required by federal agencies. Now, What does that say? If you're a
Well, it doesn't
contracting
say
officer,
much, and it doesn't have your name in it. It has, I mean,
exactly.
it's great because you could revamp it, but it's not what you want to submit unless you are all-purpose landscaping.
Perfect. Now, I'm going to give a little bonus here because I'm actually going to go into the draft of government contracting without tiers to actually
Okay.
get into the real technique that you want to use to begin to build a proposal that you can actually submit proudly. Now, let me just get into it's in part 4 where we start. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to write out the executive summary. Okay. So the executive summary is going to look something like this. I have a prompt here that I'm going to use. It says, begin to write the proposal starting with executive summary. Be sure to align the company information below with relevant aspects of the government solicitation attached. And then I'm going to add into it, this proposal is for Godwin and Friends Ltd. in partnership with the company below. We would not be revealing their name, but we would focus on the value we provide together. And I'm going to show you how this changes everything. So this is Godwin and Friends Limited. But here's the juicy part. You want to go into that company's information, grab everything on that page, okay? Copy and paste. And I'm going to just put that right below the SOL or the prompt.
Right.
And I want you to see what it generates here. Now, what you want to do, and where I'm really going with this is, you want to make sure that you're building out this proposal part by part. Oh, let's see. It's making a mistake and trying to write out the entire thing. I want only the executive summary.
And I love that you have this in your book. So this is great for those who get the book because it's going to so help.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I always say this book is not the type that you want to read like a novel. If you do that, then you're going to miss the essence. It's something that you want to follow step by step. But let's just check this out quickly. It says Godwin and Friends Ltd. In partnership with a leading local landscaping service provider is pleased to submit the proposal for lawn care and landscaping services at the National Weather Service office in Pueblo, CO. Our partnership leverages the extensive local expertise of the landscaping partner with our proven track record in managing government contracts to deliver high quality, reliable, and efficient services. And we have different prompts that we're going to use to build out each section of the proposal step by step in order for us to have a complete and compliant proposal based on the SOL. Look,
I love that.
What I have for you is that everybody can get access to this cheat sheet right here that has the ability for you to pick your industry, create industry keywords, and break down solicitations in minutes. And you can all get this at the AIGovCon.com. If you go into the website, you can get this information. It will be sent over to your email. But Kizzy, I was just trying to give a general synopsis on how we use AI to actually work through certain prompts and have a result at the end that we can use and be really proud of.
No, this is phenomenal. I've seen a lot of presentations on AI. This one is definitely top level because you showed every step. This is perfect for middleman. It's perfect for people who want to do middleman or want to work in areas that they don't know and they don't have to feel so fearful. This is great for finding vendors. And I love that you're offering the book. And what is the website again for people to go to for the book?
It's theAIGovCon.com. You can get the free cheat sheet.
Please go there, theAIGovCon.com. I'm just so grateful for you being here. And how do people, what's the best way for them to contact you? Going to theAIGovCon.com?
One of the best ways to contact me would be you can subscribe to the channel at the AI Government Contractor. I actually leave my email in most of the videos. The email is etimgodwin4@gmail.com. You can reach out to me if you want to get some more resources. I give out a lot of free resources, but you can subscribe to the channel, and I'll be really happy to interact with anybody who is trying to use these methods.
And I appreciate that. And that's one thing I admire about you is that you give out so much free information, and especially around AI, there's so many people trying to push some product or tell you, oh, I have this database and you click these prompts and it's going to give you a proposal in minutes. And at the end of the day, you always have to give the government what they want, what's part of the evaluation criteria. And if you don't give them that, then they're not going to consider you, even if you have the best price or the best vendor. So I'm so grateful for you, Godwin, for being here today.
Thank you so much, Kizzy. Like I said, it's really incredible to be on this side because I've been watching you. I talk to a lot of people who have the book and they talk about how helpful it is. And you gave me the perspective on government contracting that I even needed to be able to use AI to implement it. So it's great to be here with you, Kizzy.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful for you to be here too. And, people check out the book, winnerswaybook.com, and like, subscribe, hit the notification button on the channel, subscribe to his channel, get the cheat sheet at theaigovcon.com. So again, thank you so much. And until next time, everything is possible. Take care.